Test match win at Eden Park, folks. That's something not many All Blacks players get, but the Scottish side has just walked away with 41 points to 12 winners over Samoa at neutral Eden Park. As I mentioned in the match preview, as far as I am led to believe, Apia Park over in Samoa is under renovation, so played here in New Zealand. We don't get to see Scotland play here in New Zealand very often. I think there was a pretty decent crowd, some real diehard Scot fans out there, and a fairly big Samoan contingent as well. Far from like I thought, honestly, if the weather's bad, maybe it could be really embarrassing attendance. But nah, the crowd was good. It was vocal. They were treated to some tries. Very lopsided game in terms of the Scots scored a heap of points and nilled the Samoans in the first half. But the second half had a bit of an arm wrestle feel about it, but yeah, into the Scottish tour and the start of Samoa's campaign ahead of the Pacific Nations Cup. We'll go through the key events and stats of the game. You guys can let us know your thoughts, but it very much looked like in the first half a team which is playing their first game since last year for the Samoans, and a team which is in their last game of their current tour. Even without so many British and Irish Lions guys from the Scottish squad, they just had a kind of cohesion about them, which the Samoan guys just didn't have. First scrum penalty went the Scottish way. Jamie Dobby's kicking game was causing the Samoans all kinds of problems. A wee kick and chase early was certainly putting the Samoan guys under a bit of pressure. And the first try came, that man Ewan Ashman, who's off to Australia after this game, he got it from a Scottish ball. And to be fair, it started with a Dobby, with that Dobby kick, which basically meant Umanga, the Samoan 10, had to take a ball near his own goal line, right close to the sideline as well, and he got tackled into touch. I think it was by Aaron Reid. So, yeah, good kicking, territorial pressure leads directly to Scottish first points. Missed conversion, 5 points to 0. This was not a day for many kicked conversions, to be honest, but there was certainly, as I said, a fair few tries on display. That being said, can Scotland just get a clean restart? More often than not, I swear, no. I didn't actually count them up for this game. Because the scoreline was not that close, I wasn't paying as much attention to it as I should have been. But often, I feel like that's a stat I need to track, because I swear the Scots are among the worst at clean kickoff receipt. They just let the bloody thing bounce from the restart. Put themselves under all kinds of pressure, although there was no points conceded in the first half, so they managed to kind of get out of a potential mishap for that one. But man, Scotland, the restarts, I don't know what you need to do to sort that out. Whether you need to get in a specialist like set piece, they got forwards coaches, scrums coaches, some teams have line out coaches. Do you need a restart coach? Because I feel like it's not an area that Scotland excels at. Far from the only ones, but yeah, it's just something. Reid also went close as well from a Scottish perspective, from a Samoan missed line out. And the Samoan first couple of line outs did not go well either. So again, team which has not had as much game time together as potentially some others, but again, no chance directly taken. However, McDowell, and part of that Scottish midfield depth, which got a bit of a showing off in this game. Remember, with the main two guys, I call them that, Hugh Palazzo over with the Lions, guys like McDowell and Hutchinson get a chance to show off their skills, and they linked up for a try on 12 minutes. McDowell's dink through for Hutchinson, basically untouched, second try of the game. Started with the 50-22, which was from a Samoan missed line out again. So, 12 points to 0. 12 points to 0, starting to look pretty hairy for the Samoans, given that we're only like 12 or 15 minutes into the game by the time the conversion goes over. Scotland had so much front foot ball. They probably should have put on more points in the first half of the first quarter of the game. They were offloading, getting the ball wide. Everyone was looking to pass, high tempo. It was very easy on the eye stuff, but some of the passes going into touch. Some of the passes getting intercepted by Samoan defenders, so they were doing well to shut down these Scottish opportunities, to be fair, because as I said, it felt like more than a 12-0 game. Paiawa had a really good intercept, which led up to a Samoan line break, which was actually genuinely quite dangerous. Almost felt like it was going to go coast to coast, but the Scots managed to scramble. Burke went close after Aaron Reid line break. He just got tackled into touch, so there was certainly a lot of action, even if the try scoring did slow down. But finally, on 30 minutes, there was an attack from a central scrum. Jamie Dobby with a huge width pass out to the left wing. And Reid was able to go over untouched as well. So 17 points to nil. Another misconversion. Then Jamie Dobby, 50-22, line out. Ashman, Dobby, I think it was Burke and Rowe, all had touches. Slick hands from the Scots. Stain goes over into the corner. 22 points to nil. Samoa did have their best period of, I don't know, like cohesive phases right before the whistle at halftime, but couldn't really get close to scoring a try. But at least that was a little bit encouraging, that across the course of that first half, maybe they'd been coming into it a little bit more as the half dragged on, but still 22 points to nil. It's a long way to come back from. The Scots have had 8 line breaks to 2. Come halftime, they've had 59% of the ball, and the Samoans have coughed up more ball. 12 turnovers conceded to 7. How do you cough up almost twice as much ball when you've only had 41%? Doesn't really make sense, unless maybe you're a team which hasn't played any rugby in almost a year. Penalties conceded also 4-2, which is actually pretty low. Pretty low, and not doing a lot of kicking. The Samoans were not a high kicking side. Like Jamie Dobby kicked it more times in the first half than the Samoans did. And he was making really good use of that boot. Second half, it's a bit more of a contest. Yeah, it's like 3 tries to 2 in the second half. First half was just all the Scots on the scoreboard. I mean, they did get on the scoreboard through Gilchrist. I guess they wanted to stop the flow of the backs scoring some tries. So Gilchrist powered over through a couple of Samoan defenders. It was a really nice bit of punch from him. 27-0. Then Nico Jones came on. I thought he looked pretty solid. I think he's only playing club rugby, only, but I don't think he's playing like pro rugby at the moment. I know he's played over in the States before. He's had a contract Moana Pacifica before, but I think he's playing club rugby over here in NZ. He got himself a line break, he got himself a turnover at the end of the game, certainly do. I mean, he gets a lot of pressure on him because of his dad, but he looked pretty sharp when he came on. And then the Scots got punished for trying to run the ball out of their own 22. Bit of turnover ball. Coughed up, Samoa punished, like it almost went into touch, but Nini was able to go over. So the big lock, who had him as the first Samoan try scorer, especially from turnover ball, but at least they're on the board. 29-5, crowd loves it. The Samoan fans, cheered that one. But then again, Scotland, immediate reply, which is pleasing from their point of view. Kyle Rowe, he had a heap of run meters in this game with a line break. Burke went close and then popped it back to Rowe a few phases later. So, yeah, Horn started doing the kicking, but his one hit the post as well. So it's another misconversion. But 34-5. Definitely a lot more second half action from the Samoans, though. Like, yeah, at times the first half was a bit of a tough watch in terms of a Samoan point of view. Like, the Scottish fans would have been loving it. But, yeah, they were getting into the game. They had a maul that went close. They went through some phases. Paiawa managed to get himself on the board. He spun out of a tackle really nicely. So actually getting some possession and territory. Encouraging. So 12 points to 34. But the Scots had the last say of the game. Again with a maul try. Turner was able to get that one. 41-12. But like not long prior to that, the Samoans had a golden opportunity to score another one. But that got pinged for obstruction. So they did genuinely have some chances in the second half. But as I said, they kind of lost it in the first. So the Scots, man, really good test of their depth. I think if you're a Scottish fan, I mean, you'll obviously be unhappy to have lost the game in Fiji, but you beat the Māori All Blacks with a very much changed team. And then still a strong team here against the Samoans, albeit without your Lions, has gone and put on a pretty big scoreline. And as I said, a rare win at Eden Park for a test team who isn't the All Blacks. That is certainly something to savour for the Samoans. I mean, it's their first game back. They're all without some of their guys who are playing in the NPC soon because, their contracts with the NPC are not ones that they want to or are able to break, which is a bit unfortunate. So certainly missing a few players, and it is their first game back, and it is their first game since like last year. So it's for a first hit out. Like, it's not great, 41-12, but it could have been worse. There's still some encouraging signs there that I think they can build on. Line breaks finishes 10-4, so that's 2 each in the second half, which is, as I said, a lot more even. Turnovers one's 9-5. The Scots won a lot of turnovers, to be fair. Nini had 20 tackles for the Samoans. Christie had 18 tackles for the Scots, so some defensive shifts on there as well. Rowe, 102 metres, 3 line breaks. Reed, 3 line breaks. Paia'awa had 70 metres as well. But yeah, 22 kicks from hand from the Scots. It's lowish, but 12 from Samoa is unbelievably low at test match level. But anyway, that was the test for Friday. We've got a whole bunch more to come on Saturday. The All Blacks are playing France. The Lions are getting underway against the Wallabies. Heaps to get going. You guys subscribe to the channel if you want more Samoa or Scotland rugby content. But yeah, you guys take care, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.